What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be taking a look at a new Eternia Masterverse Man at Arms. This is a really cool version of Man at Arms. Excited to actually get this video done and get it popped up on the video. This is the third variation of Man at Arms that we've had so far in the Masterverse line. And I would say, just from what I can see in the packaging, he's probably going to be my second favorite. The Revelation version of Man at Arms I really like. I know he doesn't look as much like this or as much like the original cartoon, but he's a really cool figure. As far as looking like the old school cartoon, I feel like this version of Man at Arms is going to be a little better than the first version that we got. But let's go ahead and take a look at his packaging and see what all he's about. So we do have the new style box, which has the artwork on the front here with a much smaller window. And then it says Man at Arms here on the side. So if it is posed up on the side or shelved on the side, you can still see his name. He's got really cool artwork on the side. We've got the unmustached face as well as the mustached face. Really cool. The other side of the box is just a continuation of this picture, so it just kind of wraps around the side, and I feel like that's a pretty good idea. It looks nice. Not too many people are probably going to display it on this edge because of that, but either this way, or just pulled straight out of the box. And then, you know, we've got the cool AI-generated artwork on the back here. We've got Man at Arms. We have his little mace. We've got the unmustached version, and then it shows you here that the mace unattaches from the top, or it's a separate piece that will plug in there. We will find that out as soon as we get him pulled out of the box. It says in his little blurb here, Man at Arms, heroic master of weapons. The last thing Duncan remembered was He-Man shouting by the power of Grayskull. Reality cracked and all went dark. Suddenly, Man at Arms found himself in a new Eternia, one broken and in need of repair. And then it says down here, also available, Sorceress, Teela, Trapjaw, and Skeletor or Skeletech. The video for Skeletech is up on the channel. We'll get these two up ASAP. And then I always love this down here, empowering the next generation through play, the little Mattel saying. So pretty cool. Let's go ahead and get this guy pulled out of the box. So there we've got him pulled out of the box, and as you can see, this is a new style. Most of the accessories and pieces are going to be down in here, or maybe not most of them, but the extras will be down in here. This just has a little tab that opens up, and you can pull that stuff out of there. It just makes them easier to pull out if you just pull everything out at once. And we have some bands to cut. And that should be all of them. Let's get these little ties off to the side here. And there we've got Man at Arms pulled out of the box. Here's a look at his mace. It does have a little bend to it, probably from being in the package. Hopefully that's something we can just warm up and fix. It is a different color orange, which I wasn't expecting. It is a totally different color than the rest of his armor. Let's see, does it come apart in any way? That doesn't seem to come off. All right, let's set that down. And now here are his little bag of goodies. So here is another end to the mace, so it looks like that is going to come apart right there. We'll try that out in just a little bit when we get him posed up with his pieces. Then you do have the additional head sculpt, and this is the one that comes with no mustache, as well as an additional more Filmation style helmet, and these will just slide right on the head, just like that, to give you more of a traditional looking Man at Arms face. I still haven't decided which way I'm going to display him. Honestly, I think I'll probably keep one of these heads on this body, and then I'll use the other head on the other Man-at-Arms. Not the bearded Man-at-Arms, but the first Man-at-Arms that we got in the set. Let's see how easy this head's going to come out. All right, we might have to actually put the head on the ball joint to get the helmet off. He also comes with these two fisted hands. And as you can see, they are the larger pegs, so these will not work on the earlier versions of the Masterverse characters. These pegs are a lot bigger, so they just won't slide up into the holes without modifying them. As far as this little mace here, let's see. All right, so that is a hard snap. Snaps in there, and it's a pretty hard snap. But let's go ahead and try the mace and flail combo. Yeah, you heard that snap in there. So I wish this was a real chain. I feel like that would be cooler. Just from reviewing some Ninja Turtle figures and seeing how they've done some of the nunchucks for Michelangelo, I feel like that could have been a real chain, and that would have been really awesome. Maybe that's a custom that I can do on this character or something. Maybe we can make this into a real chain. Let's go ahead. I'm going to actually take it back off. And we're going to have Man-at-Arms, more traditional like mace head. Now, if you look close, this does appear to have some like battle damage or something on it. It's not like all crispy clean. It's definitely scuffed up a little bit. Looks like a little marbly on some of the plastic up here. It's probably just the way that they cast it or something. I'm not sure. There we got like a dark spot. I'm probably being a little too picky with this weapon. Let's go ahead and go over Man-at-Arms articulation. And I'm going to do this side of him. I normally do this side, but since he's got the armor on this side and he articulates the same all the way around, we'll just do this side. So he will go all the way up. His little shoulder pad kind of blocks him from going much higher there. He does have the bicep swivel, so it will swivel all the way around. As you can see, this is getting in the way of that. He has a double jointed elbow, which again, this here looks like it's supposed to be snapped in there, but once you bend his elbow, it comes unsnapped, it looks like. So that's good to know. He does have a rotation at the wrist. Right there. And it will go forward, and it won't go back because of this little piece on the back of his hand. Then he does have the standard diaphragm cut, which will allow him to do the crunch. He'll go backwards a little bit side to side. He does have a cut at the waist, so you can turn his waist all the way around. As far as the splits, yeah, he goes out really far. It does a complete split, one of those ones making Jean-Claude Van Damme jealous. He does appear to have the drop-down hips, so you can pull the hips down and it will just allow him to articulate a little farther. I think that's a good idea, and I like it as long as the loincloth covers it up. When there's a big gap like that, it's a little bit weird looking. I do wish that maybe they would have made the loincloths just a hair longer since they're doing this with the hips, but it's not too bad. He does have a full thigh swivel, as well as a double jointed knee. And there we go. At the bottom of them sometimes is stiff, but you can see both joints bent, pinless. We do have a boot swivel, and it looks like Man-at-Arms has a new style of boot. He doesn't have the furry boots that he used to have. I'm not sure if I like these boots. I might actually have to swap these boots out with some different boots to kind of complete my Man-at-Arms. I'm going to take all of the figures and kind of kit bash them together to create my version of the best Man-at-Arms, kind of like I did with He-Man. So let's go ahead and get his arm down in position here. We will put his bent mace in his hand, maybe. Yeah, we'll put his bent mace in his hand, get him standing up straight here. One thing about these guys is that I wish was different. I wish they came with some type of a figure stand. I think that would be cool. So there's Man-at-Arms stood up. Pretty good look at him like this. We're going to go ahead and take this helmet off. Maybe. There it goes. So the helmets are stiff. We're going to go ahead and pull this helmet off. You can see he has the same green cow. Pull this head off. And then we're going to stick that old mustacheless Man-at-Arms head on there. Maybe. All right, there we go. And then it looks like he does have this little piece on his back that's going to just clip in here. And then it slides down. I bumped that with my finger, but that will hold his mace right there in case you don't want to put it in his hand. As far as this armor goes, as I showed you earlier, this piece does attach to this piece, but it also comes unattached to this piece. So there we've gotten it plugged back in. You can see there it just plugs through the back. I'm probably going to just leave all of this armor on because it's such a pain in the butt messing with all the different armor pieces. I'm thinking this is not going to be the final armor for this Man-at-Arms, so that's okay. I feel like I'm probably going to use the shoulder harness from the first edition Man-at-Arms. Possibly the shin guard as well. I haven't decided on that yet. So now we can take a closer look at this head, which seems to be a completely different head with the mustache. It's not like it's just the same face and they put a mustache on it. It looks like a completely different head. I like the mustache, but I do like this helmet better. We're going to go ahead and pull in another Masterverse figure just so we can kind of compare him together. Size-wise and scale, just make sure they look good together, and we'll be right back. So I went ahead and pulled He-Man in here next to Man-at-Arms, and this is kind of my custom He-Man that I've put together. It is the new Eternia Battle Armor He-Man with the cross harness on. He has the Origins He-Man head sculpt and the first Battle Armor He-Man sword. So those are the pieces that I thought made the best looking He-Man. So far, the most accurate to Filmation in the Masterverse line. I'm really happy with the setup here, but as you can see, he looks like he's just a tiny bit taller than Man-at-Arms, and that's okay. I feel like He-Man's probably a little bit bigger character than Man-at-Arms is. We do have the hips down, so we could possibly make Man-at-Arms a little bit taller if we just pull these drop-down hips down a little bit. And now he's not wanting to stand as well either. There we go. So with the drop-down hips actually dropped down, it raises him up a little closer to the same height as He-Man. They're going to have the same articulations. It's basically the same body. He-Man will have a different buck on the top, but as far as the legs and arms, they're all reused pieces, just in a different color. So the articulation will be the same on He-Man, and we do have a video up on He-Man, the new Battle Armor He-Man, if you'd like to scroll back through and check that out. It is with all of the original pieces before I put the custom or different head and different sword and stuff on him. He didn't even come with a sword, so check that video out. It's a really good one, really awesome figure, probably the best He-Man that's come to the line so far. And there is the mustache head of Man-at-Arms put on this body. I went ahead and left the helmet off just so you can kind of get a look at that. See what he looks like with the helmet off, because some people might want to display him this way. Maybe he just got done with battle, or he's just getting ready to go to battle. I just like that we have options to display the characters differently. I feel like it's really cool to have options. Now we're going to go ahead and put this more of a, what I would call a Filmation style helmet on here. And yeah, so I think this is what we're going to go with for the Man-at-Arms. I am going to keep the mustached head. I was considering, come on, buddy. I was considering using the head without the mustache on it, this one right here, which is a really cool head. I like this a lot, but we might use this on something else. This is the way we're going to have Man-at-Arms displayed. Out of everything that's came in this package, which head's your favorite? Which helmet's your favorite? Out of the 3 different Man-at-Arms that we have, which Man-at-Arms is your favorite so far? I would say, as far as going with Filmation and stuff, this is the most accurate. The one that came out with the new Revelation cartoon, I really like, and I understand he's not the traditional Man-at-Arms, but I like his longer hair and his beard. You know, I love the characters with the beard, so I just thought it was a cool addition and a cool new look for Man-at-Arms. As far as this one goes, I couldn't be happier. The only thing I guess that I would change is maybe the way that this comes together, because you can see that that little pin has popped out once again from bending his arm. But we're going to have to just deal with it, get it shoved in there real tight, get him posed up good, and then probably just leave him alone. But thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to tell someone you love them. Turn the subscriptions on, notifications on, hit that thumbs up button on the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.